So good morning students. In the continuation of your class 10 science, last day we had discussed about the asexual mode of reproduction. Okay. So in that part we had finished all that different types of asexual reproduction like binary fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding and vegetative propagation. Yesterday we discussed in this vegetative propagation that different modes of vegetative propagation that takes place into the plants. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about the sexual reproduction. It is about the sexual reproduction in the plant. Okay. So what is sexual reproduction? That we discussed in our last class that the sexual reproduction both male and female are required for the producing the new one. Like male and female both are required for the reproducing. So it is called as sexual reproduction. So in case of plants, since we are going to discuss about the sexual reproduction in plant, so in the case of this plant, the reproductive part is flower. Okay. It is the flower that is having the different male and female reproductive parts. So here in this video we are going to see the structure of a typical flower that will contain the different various parts of the flower that will be helpful in the process of sexual reproduction. So let us see what is the structure of the plant. So see, it is the flower which is the reproductive organ in the plants and that bears male and female part. Okay. So here you can see the sexual reproduction, flower is the reproductive structure in which it contains this male sex organ and female sex organ. So male sex organ is called as stamen and female sex organ is called pistil. Okay, male sex organ is stamen and female sex organ is called pistil. This stamen contain the male gamete. Stamen will contain this male gamete and pistil will contain the female gamete. And this male gamete will fuse with this female gamete that is consist in this pistil, and this process will be called as fertilization. So fertilization will only takes place when the male gamete and female gamete will fuse together. Okay. So it is about this typical structure of a flower. We are going to see the structure of flower. Here we can see it is the flower, and flower consists of main four whorls. Means main four part it is consist of. See, you can see, if you have seen this structure, this base of this flower, this base of the flower where the complete other parts of the flowers are situated is called this thalamus. So this region is called as thalamus. Okay, this one where the other parts of the flower the flower is bearing, it is called this thalamus. Above this thalamus, the green colored part, this part is called as the calyx. It is called calyx. And this colored part of this flower, it is called this corolla. This is called this corolla. This part is called as, this bright colored part is called corolla. So this is the calyx, this is the corolla, and these two parts, that is this calyx and corolla, they do not take part in the process of reproduction, and because of that these two parts are called as non-essential part of the flower. These two parts, this is the calyx and this is corolla, it is called non-essential part of the flower. Whereas this one, this is the pistil, this centrally located, that is placed on this thalamus, it is called this pistil. It is the female reproductive part, that is the pistil. This one, this complete, it is called this pistil, and this part it is called as stamen. So it is the male reproductive part and it is the female reproductive part. Stamen, this one is called as stamen and it is the male reproductive part, and this is the female reproductive part called as pistil. So this male and female, since these both have to take part in this sexual reproduction, so these are called as essential part of the flower. This is the stamen and pistil. Since they have to participate in this process of reproduction, so it is called essential part of the flower. So the flower, a typical flower, contain these four whorls, that is calyx, corolla, stamen and carpel. So these are the four whorls that a flower contain. Out of these two are non-essentials, means they don't have to participate in this process of reproduction, that is calyx and corolla. They play the supportive role in the process of reproduction. But this stamen, this one is the stamen, and this pistil participate in this process of reproduction, so it is called essential part of the flower. Okay students. See, it is written this essential part. Okay, essential parts will contain the two parts, that is this calyx and corolla, means they do not have to play the role in the process of fertilization, whereas this non-essential, they don't have to play the part in the process of reproduction, whereas this essential part play an important role in the process of fertilization, so it is called this essential part. Here one more term is there, that is the bisexual flower. Bisexual flower is a flower that bear both male and female reproductive part in the same flower. Means, like here in this flower you can see male part, that is stamen, is also there, and female part, that is pistil, is also there. So this type of flower that is containing both male and female part in the same plant, it is called bisexual flower. Whereas if it is containing only one part, either male or female, means either stamen or carpel or pistil, then it is called unisexual flower. Okay, so these are the structures of the essential part. Essential parts that will participate in the process of fertilization, that contains this stamen and this pistil. See, this is written, it is directly involved in this process of reproduction. Okay. And these are the non-essential part. It is the calyx and it is the calyx and it is the corolla. They do not participate directly in the process of reproduction. Okay, so because of that reason it is called this non-essential part of the flower. So this is the structure of stamen. Stamen is further consists of two parts. This upper swollen part is called this is the structure of stamen. This upper swollen part is called this anther, and this lower part is called filament. This anther contain the reproductive gametes that is present into the flower, that will contain this male gamete, that is called this pollen grains. Okay, so pollen grains are filled in this anther, whereas this filament attaches this anther with the other part of the flower. So this is the structure of stamen, that is anther and filament. See, this is the structure of pollen grain that is found inside this anther. These are the pollen sacs. Okay, these are the pollen sacs that is present inside the anther. So pollen grains are transferred from anther to the female part. This process is known as pollination. Okay. This is the structure of pistil, that is the female reproductive part. This upper swollen part is called stigma. Then see, this is the structure of stigma. Stigma is upper swollen part, that is called this stigma, and the function of this stigma to receive the pollen grain during the process of pollination. Okay, this is the style. Style is the tube-like structure that connect this stigma to the ovary, and help this transfer of pollen grain from this stigma to the ovary, because this ovary contain this ovule, this structure that is called this ovule. So that pollen grain will be transferred from this stigma to the ovary with the help of style, and this ovary, it is the swollen basal part of this pistil, and it contain the ovule that contain this pollen sac. In this pollen sac, this female gamete is present. Okay. See, this is the pollen, this is the pollination. These are the pollen grains. So stigma will receive the pollen grain that is transferred from this anther to the stigma. This process is known as pollination. Then this pollen grain will be transferred to the ovary with the help of style, and ovary, it is the swollen basal portion containing ovules. In this ovule, this female gametes will be there. See, this is the structure of ovule, develops into embryo. It will develop into embryo because this contains this female gametes. By the process of fertilization, this will develop into embryo. So this is the typical structure of flower. In the next part, in the next step, we will discuss the structure of this anther and pollen grain, and then after the structure of ovule and this process of fertilization in our next video. So revise these parts, and we will discuss the next part in the next video. Thank you.